Sangria hour.
Oh,
Hey.
it's different.
Yeah, we gotta switch it up a little bit. It's a special episode. It is indeed a very special episode of Hit Points Not Required Happy Hour, a show where we indulge in some adult beverages, chat with each other about nonsensical things for a few minutes, sometimes longer than a few minutes, and eventually get around to talking something TTRPG related.
I don't think anyone's going to be thankful for this happy hour. That is my prediction.
I strongly disagree.
Yes, I also strongly disagree. I think people will enjoy the misery that someone may be going through as they are preparing foods, but that is just natural for the food service industry. But anyway, how y'all doing?
Doing
I'm living the dream. How about you?
I'm doing good.
I'm about 15 sangrias in right now.
Only 15? But I thought you would be further than that. You drinking it out of a martini glass?
Well, to be fair, I didn't pour a whole lot of apple cider into the whole thing. If I'm being real honest with you, it's mostly just alcohol.
For our viewing audience, we do have video evidence of what was exactly poured into the vessel when it was concocted. We will be getting to the video evidence very shortly. Do not get ahead of yourselves. I in particular thought that it would be great to have a tentacle. I don't know if y'all could see that, but a tentacle laden cup for my sangria beverage. But I need to complete it now because it does call for adding Prosecco. So we have some Prosecco right here, and we're just going to add that in to make a fizzy, fun beverage. And then we will see how this is. But this was made according to the recipe that Rook provided, which is on our Discord channel right now. Please jump into our Discord, make some for yourself, see how it goes, see how it tastes. But Violet, I think
this was not made according to my own recipe. That was provided.
that tracks. But Violet, you want to tell us about your recipe?
Yeah. So I made my own apple cider sangria. I feel like yours had too many things in it for me, and I'm poor, and I didn't want to buy that many things. So
this is a rich man's apple cider sangria.
So my sangria consisted of
ice cubes and whiskey.
No, it's Pinot Grigio, apple cider, of course. Applejack, which is like an apple brandy and is great. Yeah, I mean, I had two kinds of apples in it. I used Honeycrisp, which is sweet, and Granny Smith, which is tart, and also a couple of orange slices, and and a cinnamon stick, and just let it all kind of marinate together, and I'm very pleased with it.
So you put the cinnamon stick in the marinade and didn't use it as a garnish.
Yes, I put it in the whole thing to infuse a little bit through.
I did both.
The drink.
I did both. I left one cinnamon stick for the garnish. I was also, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't going to buy star anise just to put a star anise in my sangria, which wouldn't have tracked anyway.
Oh, yeah. I totally got the star anise in there. We just put that in the cinnamon stick. We have garnished. This is exactly according to recipe, and it's actually pretty tasty. I can taste the pear in there, but just barely. And I'm not a big pear fan, but I did go with a red delicious apple and a Granny Smith apple since it said 2 apples. So I picked a couple that I liked, put that together, and cheers.
Cheers.
Indeed. Mine don't look that much. It's only a slightly more orange than yours, man. I feel like it's just the apple cider had a little bit more coloring or whatever, or less coloring than yours.
Yeah, your apple cider looked like a more of a pale cider, Chuck. Whereas I think mine was more similar to Rook's.
Yeah, but yours does not look anywhere near as orange as.
But I didn't put that much in.
Neither did
Mostly wine and Applejack.
Oh,
neither did Rook.
You'll see. You'll see.
Well,
We'll get
speaking
there.
of that,
We'll get there.
should we transition to that now? Does everyone want to see, and I know they do, the creation of not just some apple cider sangria, but also some, was it sausage stuffing?
I think I called it pork sausage stuffing. I was a few sangrias in when I started that, so I can't remember.
Perfect.
Typical.
Absolutely perfect.
Typical. All right. So if we are ready, Rook, will you switch us over to the video and give me a little hat tip or a nod? It's ready to play.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah.
I have faith.
We'll hope for the best.
I don't really have faith.
Go ahead.
I really want to pull up the clip of him being excited about making it.
Oh, I don't think they can hear the video.
Oh no.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. We can all hear it.
Yeah, it sounds great to
Start
us.
it over. Start it over.
Yeah.
I mean, I can restart it at any
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. Start it over.
On the thing. Here we are for the
How about now, Clouds?
only episode of Rook Cooks. I don't know, whatever. We're making apple cider sangria today.
This episode is
Since
going to
that
be
was
entitled,
on the
"Does Rook Ever Get to
Thanksgiving
Cook?"
list, and we're right on time
Yeah,
with
we
this
got the
shit,
audio
that's
now.
for sure. It said to thinly slice our fruit. This looks like fucking eggplant to me, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but we got two pears.
That might be my
What?
favorite part.
Was that the pear?
Yeah,
Or
that was the pears.
What kind of pears do you have that end up looking like egg? I don't even want to know.
Well, I thinly sliced them sideways, and then that's what it ended up looking like to me. I was freaked out, so I
see.
chopped the apples up instead.
Like when you slice eggplant for like a Parmesan or something.
I thought we'd go with cranberries instead. They look nice. They don't need to
This
be
is
cut
the
up.
medium poor man's version
How
because
many
doesn't
were
want to
supposed be in
spring
there?
for the real
I don't
stuff.
fucking know.
Just throw it in the
Garnish
bucket.
with cinnamon sticks or something. We're gonna put these in the refrigerator overnight.
Clonk.
1, 2, 3. In the fucking bucket.
In the fucking bucket.
2 cups of apple cider.
This is Food Network worthy already.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be getting a call.
We've been looking for a show that has a certain
Also in the
Something?
has a certain country
fucking
feel
bucket.
to
Have
it.
you ever even had brandy before? Because I sure as
Yes.
hell have not. 1/4 cup of brandy, it said. We're using E&J here today. Use whatever kind you like.
I used E&J apple brandy,
What the hell is brandy? I don't know.
but it's going in the other bucket.
Tastes like a cross between bourbon and wine to me. But, as any good Kentuckian, I'm using Irish whiskey today.
That could be
Half a
why.
cup
Did
of
you really
whiskey,
use
it
Irish
said.
whiskey?
Well, I'm sure that's what you
Of
had
course
on
I
hand.
did.
More in there. And we put our bucket in the refrigerator overnight. We're back here on Rook Cooks, and
It's a whole other day.
day number 2 here. We've got to add our sparkling wine to our cider, so we can gear up for making the camera's not going over there at all. Pork stuffing for happy hour this evening. So we need a 1.5 cups of this sparkling wine. probably going to use more than that because why wouldn't we? Oh, that fizzes a lot. One cup. 1/2 more.
That looks right.
there.
That looks right.
A baker, I am not.
Stir this up a little bit.
Well, I mean, a baker.
You can use a spatula for
This is
stirring
not
if you
exactly
like.
baking
I'm about to cook
anything.
with it, so I figured I might as well just use
Baking
it
requires
anyway.
precision.
See, I've got my one more cinnamon stick for garnish.
There it is.
That is
We're
long
supposed to be
gone by
ready to
now.
go here. Let's see how this is. I'm more excited to eat some of the fruit, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, the anticipation.
But we're ready to cook now.
That's the face that says the next statement's going to be a lie.
Nice. That's not bad. We'll see if this lasts us through the whole cooking episode.
Really? You expected one beverage?
So we're the required.
Oh, I was
thing
talking
was
about the
pork
bucket, not the.
stuffing.
Yeah, that's what I assumed
For
you meant.
also
was the
Thanksgiving,
bucket.
right on time. It was only 3 weeks ago. First, we browned up some breakfast sausage. We're ready to go there. We've got a little bit of that sausage grease here in the pan still. And we're going to turn it on. We need 4 tablespoons of butter.
That's a lot of butter.
It's a lot of stuffing.
Depends upon what you're stuffing.
Who knows what 4 tablespoons of butter is? We're in the EU.
No one could possibly know.
I don't know how to convert that. We've got 1 cup of celery diced. 1 cup
What are
of
you going to
onion
convert it
also
to?
diced. Got a little more onion here. I like onion quite a bit. 1 container of Pepperidge Farm. Not a sponsor yet. Herb crusted.
Don't call me Pepperidge Farm. Do not call Rook.
And we'll just wait for this butter to get down and we'll be good to go.
And while we're waiting,
So we're going to sweat these vegetables in the butter. Right there on the cooktop. Once those are cooked down, probably about halfway, you don't want them to get too mushy because we are going to go in the oven with this stuffing when it's all mixed together here.
So technical.
We're going to start by sweating these down.
A true professional.
well, I mean, at least they're going in the
Most
oven and not the
important
fucking
thing to
oven.
keep cooking
I had to go back
process.
to
That's,
my sangria bucket for the spatula that I used to stir the sangria.
Wonderful.
We'll be back.
Oh, we'll be back. Hey,
All
we're
right,
back.
so we've got our onions and our celery sweated down here. We're going to toss our sausage back in there.
Even better if you
We need
use
about
the Louisiana
2
accent while you're
cups.
doing it.
Of chicken stock here.
Get them bits of chicken stock in there.
1,
We didn't have none of that andouille sausage in the house now. We can't be using that, none of that now.
2. We're going to let that guy come back up to
that
a
with some
boil
gator?
here real quick before we keep going. Also, 6 servings of sangria, my ass. I'm only a third of the way into this cooking. It's looking rough.
I'm not sure what that. Only 6 servings, not enough. Did it not calculate the 6 servings?
We're gonna give
Is
our
your serving
sangria a
size
bit of a
different than
boost here,
theirs?
guys.
That's what I'm guessing.
A little more sparkling lime. You know what? We don't want things to get out of balance.
Oh no.
Let's go back for these other alcohols.
Of course. Of course. Just for balance. Just to make sure it stays
Exactly.
balanced.
Oh, wait, it gets better.
You watch Happy Hour at all, you know I'm a rum and coke guy. This sangria hits pretty well. I guess you're right, you're right. If I added all the other alcohol, I probably need to add a little bit more apple cider.
I wasn't thinking that at all, but you know, hey, it works for you. Panning, slowly panning. Nope, going back.
We'll check in on
This is
all.
more interesting.
Just waiting for a boil there.
Can we get
A
closer to
little
your
bit of
dog
apple
already?
cider.
Just a splash. Just a splash.
Don't forget to use your spatula to swizzle it back up.
You like just use that for the
Sausage.
There was even an onion stuck on it still, I think. When I put it back in the thing, Denise was like, "Are you crazy?"
amazing.
I'm good at parachutes. That's kind of gross. That's good. The fruit infused with the alcohol, it really is good. Good.
Good. That'll get me somewhere real fast.
Back over here, we're just waiting for this guy to boil still. Maybe we'll time lapse and bring you back when it is. All right, we got a good boil
There we go.
on our mixture here. We're gonna add our stuff.
Very
again.
professional.
Add about 2/3 of it, get it stirred up a little bit, then add the rest.
I
Turn
like
your
the
heat
fact
down.
that we have. Is that Jax?
Jax is down in the bottom.
Yes.
I think we got Maze in the last one as well. She pans fully down to him here in a few
Got
minutes.
a lot in this pan, guys.
The best part is that she never, ever like actually shows me
Mixture looks a
cooking.
little dry, like
You're
mine
cooking right
does.
now. You're doing.
Yeah, but like not over the top, you know, like Food Network style, showing what's going on. There's none of that.
No,
We'll get the rest of this in.
you did not pay for that.
You're gonna let
service.
this sit for about 5 minutes after you get it good and mixed up.
Good times.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
it's gonna go straight into the oven.
Straight
I'll
into
be
the
moving
oven.
mine to a glass pan for the oven. And you just want to let it sit in the oven until the top kind of crusts over a little bit, gets a little brown on top. Not too long, probably 15, 20 minutes. And, you know, 350, 375, 500, whatever you fucking think, you know? Don't please keep drinking.
Disclaimer: do not cook it at 500 for
Would not
your own
recommend.
safety. Oh, they're both there, waiting.
Oh,
Get-
hello.
You know what would have been more
Yeah, so
interesting?
we
we
are
had
browned up
Shot
here.
this from dog
Just gonna
perspective.
grab this out of the oven.
Maybe next
Oh,
time.
yeah. Can you do it again?
Put like a little GoPro on the
Yeah,
dogs and have them
exactly.
actually
Looks
film.
good, looks good. We are all finished up. And I'm not going to be the next Food Network star if I don't taste it, right?
I mean, I think you could have ended that sentence without the last part.
Even with the extra dosage, I
gosh.
can't barely get any more sangria out, folks. All right, pork, sausage stuffing, Thanksgiving edition, Rook cooks.
It's a little hot.
I was gonna say, is right out of the
Oh,
oven. You were gonna try it.
A whole big mouthful. Just like they do on the
That is
Food
fucking
Network.
delicious. Don't forget, hit points are not required to outdrink a donkey.
All right.
There you go, folks.
Well, that was informative.
It was not.
Mhm.
Oh, well, we learned a lot of things that one should not do when preparing was it pork sausage stuffing, and then also if you are preparing a beverage, an adult beverage,
Mhm.
and Rook is involved, prepare twice as much.
Mhm. At least, yes. Don't
Baseline.
wait until after the food is done and then prepare it if you want to have some after.
Based on what? I'm confused.
Speaking of confusion, I have a question for y'all.
Mhm.
We just watched the preparation of pork sausage stuffing.
Mm.
I have had.
Maybe we watched something that resembles that. Yes.
I was willing to grant that to you.
Oh, I don't know why. That's not what we just watched.
Out of the goodness of my heart, and in terms of we're telling a story here, and it helped with the narrative.
Oh,
I will
okay.
It was
that.
we were role playing. It was role playing making stuffing.
Exactly.
That's probably closer to what actually happened there.
I have had discussions with some people, even recently, and they contend that the same food, the same material, the same substance, if it is inside of a bird or whatever, it is stuffing. If it is prepared the way we just saw this prepared outside of the bird in a pan, it is dressing, and then it ends up dressing the plate around your bird, and that's the only difference between the two. How do you feel about that dichotomy?
I mean, if you're looking for my response specifically, I don't know what kind of bougie shit needs two names. But I feel like I have heard it called both things.
Mhm.
And either way, it's generally fucking delicious.
Yes.
Oh.
I also have heard it called both things, but had
Mhm.
never heard that there was a distinction between them. I just always heard it as just there's two different words for the same thing.
Same thing.
Anybody got some more sangria I can borrow? By the way,
I mean, I have, I do, but it's in a pitcher. I don't know if you could possibly drink sangria out of a pitcher rather than a fucking bucket. But I do have some. You can come over here. It was made with pomegranate seeds, so it might be too bougie for you. So
certainly too expensive.
yeah, and probably did not. The prosecco was probably out of the realm of what you were doing it, but that's what the rest.
I used prosecco.
Okay, that's
I
good.
used prosecco.
I heard sparkling wine. I didn't hear you say prosecco. So
It was prosecco.
okay.
I did not splurge on the booze, man. But like pomegranate seeds were like $8. Cranberries were $2. I felt like it didn't matter. They were both red, right?
That's how it works.
Fair enough.
If they are the same color, they're the same
No,
damn.
it must be, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you managed to get in the kitchen, and we're glad that you could showcase to the world. We may be able to take that and make some reels out of that, just that, without our commentary over it, for the people that would like to make their own commentary track. I feel like this could be used, and we could get some reaction videos from a chef or something like that in there. What the sort of reactions? I think it could be good. That could work. But yes, sangria is good. I'm sort of double fisting over here. I also have some hot buttered rum. We mentioned that last time, which is of course fantastic. I mean, for those of you who are not familiar with the creation of hot buttered rum, it is basically butter, good slab of butter, good chunk of brown sugar, and combine that together. Throw in a pinch of a couple other spices like nutmeg and clove, and then dump in some hot water to melt all that, and your rum, and that's butter, brown sugar, rum. What could be what could be better?
Rum and Coke.
I don't think Coke would go as well with all the nutmeg. But maybe that's a new thing. Coke, give me a call. Maybe we could do a nutmeg flavor Coke. You know, we've had cherry Coke for long enough. I think it's seen its day.
I have said so many times. I have said this to people many times in my life. I wish that they made like a bourbon flavored Coke, because I love it so much that sometimes I just want the taste of it, but I don't necessarily want to drink in that moment. And I just wish that I could have a bourbon flavored Coke. It would make me so happy.
I'm confused. Did you say you didn't want to drink?
Well, Next time on Hit Points Not Required, we have secretly replaced Rook's rum and Coke
Oh
with
no.
rum flavored
Oh
Coke.
no.
And we're going to see if he notices.
Temperament may change, folks. Temperament may change.
Oh my. Well, this week, drinking on the house, I believe should be, and you guys can vote me down if you want, but I believe it should be the mixologists who create the wonderful beverages that we enjoy at holiday time, like an apple cider sangria or a bunch of buttered sugar and and rum and whatever else
Mhm.
there may be. And I'm talking about the actual mixologists and not Rook cooks. But you know,
It's a little too upscale and professional for you. Is that what you're saying?
oh yeah, maybe. I'll take another watch. Maybe on a second watch, some of the finer details will really pop out at me.
Mhm.
Did you miss the part where everything went in the fucking bucket?
Yeah, caught that part.
The emphasis on balance in the drink by
Yeah.
making sure all of the different alcohol was added back in.
And the nuances of the precise measurement.
Mhm.
And
Mhm. Yeah.
and the thinly slicing of a pear.
Eggplants. The
Fucking
eggplant.
look like fucking eggplant, man. What do you want me to say? That's what it looked like.
Maybe your pear wasn't ripe. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, mixologists who create these wonderful drinks.
Yes.
Here's to you.
I wish you'd make me another Mr. Mixologist or Mrs. Mixologist that is out there.
Same. I'm out.
That's what I'm
I should have
saying.
used a
Y'all
bigger
didn't-
glass.
That's
Or-
why
or
you
have
need
a
the red cup.
Yeah.
That's why you double fist. I mean, we could take a short break here, run those videos again. Well, no.
I don't think we're gonna do that.
Because we appreciate you, our viewers, our listeners, our watchers, our members on Discord. We appreciate you all. And
If you can suffer through that, you can watch just about any happy hour.
Yeah, and if you can watch that, wait till you watch our actual role play. But with role play, I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest things to me in particular, is watching new people get involved. That time you're sitting at the table and someone's like, "This is my first time. I've never played before. I played BG3 and thought this would be cool," or I, was watching any one of those other shows. I was watching Hit Points Not Required, and I thought that would be fun to do. And I saw this listed somewhere on campus, somewhere in the neighborhood, and came out to play. And it's your first time playing. I think there are some interesting things that a DM can do when they know they have first-time players, and I think there are some things that people should look out for or try and bring to their game and have in the mind when it's their first time out role playing. But I want to know from you before I get into what I've already thought about. Have you guys had recent experiences? Have you guys had positive, negative experiences, or read things online or seen things with first-time players that you would like to share with the group?
PvP.
PvP every time.
First time.
Trial by fire.
Hey guys, it's my first time. Roll initiative.
Oh my. Violet, have you had any different experiences? Wouldn't like to share
gosh.
anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, there's so many ways to come at this, but like when I think about my first time playing, and one of the things that I think was really great that my DM did was let me make an absolute nightmare of a character. Just make something super bullshit because I thought it would be fun, and just that idea of just letting someone do what's going to be fun for them, if it's their first time playing, so they can just really enjoy the experience. And then if they like it and if they're into it, then they can sort of learn more of the rules and that sort of thing. But like if they want to just do something silly right out the gate, let them do something silly, and just to get the experience and enjoy it. Like my first character ever was like had a like homebrew stuff that I had just like looked up online, and like it was like a play test, like unearthed arcana class, and like it was ridiculous. It was totally ridiculous. And my DM actually said to me, like, you absolutely can play whatever you want, but if you're doing if you're doing something off like that's not standard, you're responsible to know what the rules are for your character. And so I had to learn my character really well because I wanted to do something silly.
Hmm.
And so yeah, and I feel like that was great for me. It like helped me kind of like dig into like, okay, how does this work? I have to figure it out on my own because my DM doesn't know anything about this class because it's like not a real class. um, but it was also just super fun. So yeah, I think letting a new player do silly shit is a good idea.
Excuse me while I just dial an ambulance for for Rook
Mhm.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was too much pork sausage stuffing,
Mhm.
not enough prosecco. I think that was the problem. That would help that, or maybe it was that missing onion. That was the missing
Oh,
onion.
you found it. Yeah.
But the reason I had this topic on my mind today, recently, over the past weekend, I got to sit in on a table, and it was advertised as a fun, whimsical, anybody can join. And we jump into the session, say hello, meet people, all complete strangers. None of us have met before. And three of the players had never played any type of TTRPG or anything before. However, this was a level 0 one shot.
Mm.
And I think it worked out perfectly. I think it was amazing because it allowed, you can't do anything anyway. You've got no special abilities. You have a race, and your race has your racial traits or whatever it is. So you have a couple of little things in there, but nothing. You have no class abilities. You don't have,
Mhm.
you have nothing. Choose one skill to have proficiency in. Okay, great. Nothing else anywhere in there. And that allowed a lot of freedom for people. Okay, well, I want to do this. It allowed people to just be like, I want to, and not feel constrained by the rules. So I would really recommend, especially if you're new, first time playing, don't look for a campaign. That's my number one thing. Do a one shot or a couple of shorter things to get an idea of what you do, what you like, what you don't like. Because when you start out, you're not going to know how to vet a table. I mean, I've played for decades now. I sit down at a table, talk to people for 2 or 3 minutes before the session starts. I know whether it's going to be a
Mhm.
good table, a bad table, whether I'm going to fit in or not, what I like in a table and what I don't like in a group. As a new player, you don't know that yet. It's like when
Mhm.
you're young and you don't know what type of music you like. You just start listening to stuff, probably your parents' stuff or whatever it is. But eventually, you'll figure out what you like or don't like, and then you'll be able to tell people, yeah,
Mhm.
I like all that country stuff or whatever it happens to be. And you'll be able to find a table. But don't the first experience probably shouldn't be hooked or stuck on a long-term table before you know what you're doing with a character that you've created before you know what you're doing in creating a character.
I mean, that is, with the caveat that assuming you are going to a table of strangers, like that you are looking for a game with a bunch of people you don't know. If you are joining a game with friends, it may be different. If you want to do this as a thing with your friends, I feel like it's not as big a deal to kind of plan for a longer adventure. Um,
I, I,
because
I,
whether you enjoy the adventure or not, like it's less of an issue of like committing to spend time with people that you may hate. Like at least it's with your friends, so you want to hang out with them and that sort of thing. So I feel like it's not such a big deal if it's that kind of a situation. If you start with a kind of a campaign, it sort of depends on the group and what people want to do and what people are excited about. Again, I think more important is what people are excited about and what will feels fun to them.
I also think if you're starting with friends and all of you starting together, like, don't be afraid to do something short first so that you don't feel.
So you don't feel
That
like you're gonna
onion,
die.
yeah.
That onion. But yeah, I mean, that was I was along the same lines. Like, if you're doing a table with friends and it's a long-term table, things like that have killed friendships before, right? You find there are things like you can't do with everybody that you're friends with all the time. There are just certain, that I don't think that always works out. I mean, I don't think you necessarily know the character you want to play long term if you've never played anything before. Um, but hey, nothing is absolute. It totally could work out. But I think if you're like, hey, this is something I might like and I might enjoy, just find a way to try it out and try it out, as bare minimum rules as possible to be able to tell the story with enough rules to keep it going and all that. But just try and keep it simple and make it short. Try and have that first session be like an hour and a half or 2 hours most or something like that. Don't make it super long. And if you don't get to the end and people are super excited, that's amazing. That's great. Don't be afraid. Oh, we didn't get to where I was going to go as far. No, we'll just come back next week. Same time. Everybody come back and do that, and we'll take it from there.
A lot of the bigger cities have D&D pub nights too, where they hang out at a pub somewhere and there's lots of tables, lots of opportunity to go jump in, enjoy yourself, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Atlanta definitely has that. We do that several times a week in a couple of different places. It is great to go and have a TTRPG night, try out a new system, or just do something with a bunch of people that are interested there to play. But yeah, I think from a player perspective, try not to
overcommit.
Yeah, overcommit is a good word. To overcommit to either the game itself, in terms of length or whatever it is, or to the character, or to whatever. Try and enjoy the experience without trying to make it so much. I need to do everything, make everything perfect, and have everything from the beginning. Because like cooking, especially a recipe you haven't followed before, you're probably going to make mistakes. And, hey, even if you follow it to the letter, there may be something like, hey, I didn't like this very much. I like that instead. Next time I make it, let me change it up and do a little something different. And that happens with role playing all the time, right? I've been playing this character for 6 months now, and it's not developing the way I want, and it's not meshing with the other ones in the group, or I'm not messing with the group. I'm not meshing with the group and the play style. And in particular, I can't stress enough the fact, even for a one shot, have a session 0. It may be like 5-10 minutes at the beginning, but make sure your first table has a session 0 with things to expect during the session, things you don't want to have during the session. If there are things that you don't like to come up and talk about, make sure that minimally the DM, if not the entire group, knows what to avoid.
Setting expectations for each other as well. Just throwing out there, this is what I want to do to have fun.
Yeah. Another thing I would say too for new players is to not be afraid to ask a lot of questions, because that's how you learn. And it just shows that you're engaged, even if you don't know what to do yet. At least shows the rest of the group that you're interested in what's going on, that you want to learn. And the other people at your table should be, and most likely will be eager to help and answer your questions. They are probably people who, either are learning themselves too and also want to know the answer to the question, or have been playing for a long time and are excited to talk to someone about the thing that they like to do and would love to answer your questions and help you learn about it. And if they're not like that, then fuck them, find a different table.
Yes.
So
I don't care whether they're your friends or not. Fuck them, find a different table.
But I mean, if you're asking questions and you want to learn and the people at the table are not supportive of that, that's a good sign that that's not the table for you.
Mhm.
Because I think most people who like playing TTRPGs like talking about it and like helping new players and explaining and helping them figure out what to do and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Like I said, a new table or a table with 3 new players out of 5 people, out of 5 players at the table, and you keep nice and simple everything, and people encouraged to ask questions and role play and describe things, and they're not looking on the sheet. Hey, can I roll a deception for this? It's like, hey, no, I want to try and lie about this and say this and that. All right, can you roll your deception? Okay, great, do it, right. And it starts, and they have new ideas too, right. The person who's been playing for years, if not decades, will be like, okay, this is how we do X, Y, and Z. Let's approach, because this is how it always is done in Dungeons and Dragons or whatever system you happen to be playing. Versus the new player is going to be like, I want to try and do this, and it could be interesting. It could be interesting either way. It could have catastrophic effects. It could have great effects. Who knows? All you can do is try things, and I think the new perspective and is interesting. So I love playing with people that haven't played before and are willing to try weird and off the wall sort of things, and we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
If you are one of those people who has been playing for a long time and you find yourself at a table with someone who's new, definitely, especially with role play, because role play, if people aren't used to it, or at least used to doing it like in person, maybe they like role playing like video games and things like that, but maybe aren't used to sitting at a table with other people and doing that. Try to get them engaged, like as you're doing your role play, like talk to their character and ask them questions and give them something, so they don't have to necessarily try to figure out what to do on their own. Give them something to latch onto, like engage them in what you're doing, because that can really, really help people and make them feel more comfortable and get them into how role play works.
Yeah, that's and I think that goes for everything, whether there are new players at the table or not. Try and talk to the other players. Try and get the other players engaged and have those conversations and all that, and try and avoid what I see a lot, which is just talking to the DM. Okay, we're trying to investigate this. Let me ask the DM this. Let me ask the DM. All of my role play ends up being done, or that person in that table, all their role play ends up being done one on one with the DM, and then the next person one on one with the DM, and then when you talk to each other and the DM can sit back and doesn't have to say anything, that's when things are really flowing at the table. And to that point, this scenario that we were in, I think was perfect for new players. With we were playing children at a fair, and you get to choose whether you're a younger child or an older child. And I naturally chose the younger child, this little chaotic child that was scared about everything and asking to have their hand held and do a bunch of things interacting with the other players, especially the new players. And I think it was a great way to facilitate and do that if you have that option, or if you're the older child asking, hey, let me hold your hand to cross this part of the thing. It's dangerous over here. Just little things like that are just like the natural conversations you have. Hey, what would you like to have for lunch? What would you like to have for a snack? We're at a fair. They have funnel cakes over there. Did you want? Okay, well, we got to eat something.
I want a funnel cake. I didn't know we were having funnel cake tonight.
Well, you didn't make any.
Shit.
Maybe next time we'll be Chuckles Bakes, and we'll have a fire for real. But
No.
but just those natural questions that and people automatically, they don't have to think about what the response is, right? Because if I'm like, hey, what do you want for lunch? It's okay. What do I want for lunch? Or what did I actually have for lunch today? Right? It's just a normal question you're used to answering. And when you have those type of questions, and you don't have to think, oh, what's in my character's backstory about what they eat for lunch every day? Well, that's not in the backstory, right?
Some people it would be.
Yeah, that's true. Then they still have an answer, right? But you don't have to think. Oh, you don't have to always ask questions that are like, I need to ask this question to get more information about XYZ's character's backstory or the secrets that they're trying to hold. You can just ask a simple, how was your day? Or, who does your
Also-
hair? It looks fantastic. Whatever it is.
I think that another good point is, touching on if you're sitting down for the first time to play this game or any TTRPG and you've come up with this extensive idea of who your character is, don't feel pressured to reveal all of that immediately or even ever. Don't feel the need to get all of that out there because one, you could be stepping on someone else's toes and taking up too much time with your own personal story. But two, don't put that kind of pressure on yourself to make sure that because you did this work outside of the game, that everyone else knows it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in my mind, the way I play, there is a separation between personality and backstory. And if it's a campaign, it maybe the first 10, 15 sessions are all about personality. Backstory is going to come into it when it's important. And maybe that'll get some of that stuff will get revealed by situations or whatever it is. But that comes up when it is appropriate to come up and when it makes sense to the story. Personality is who you are and what you're like and your personal interactions, and that is what you want to lean on to begin with, especially in those first couple of sessions, and that's really the start of it. Unless your backstory that'll come out, we'll figure out what your tragic story is and why it's a woe is you story later on. That will come out, but it doesn't need to be. That doesn't need to be when your character introduction happens. You don't need to have descriptions in there that explain the backstory and what's going on. Just personality and appearance. And there we go. That seems like we have thoroughly covered this topic, or we've all had a lot to drink. And it's really tough to think at this point in time. So I think that is our.
Or we haven't had enough to drink.
Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe if you
Chuck
start
is skeptical.
I don't think Rook could ever be in that situation. I haven't had enough to drink, and I'd be like, yeah, no, yeah, here, let me pour you another Irish car bomb and get the party started.
Too old for that shit, sir.
Not too old, Brian.
No car bombs for me, no longer.
Oh goodness.
I did attend John Jameson's funeral though, with John Jameson.
Okay. Did you get a T-shirt?
No.
Okay.
I have a Rook's Lawn T-shirt.
You do. With that, we want to thank everybody for watching and sticking with us. And maybe it was just you fell asleep while this was running, and you're about to get into auto, or maybe this auto played into it from something else. Who knows? We appreciate you spending a little time with us
and sympathize with you for spending a little time with us, suffering through whatever the hell Rook's cooking was.
At least I didn't have to eat the stuffing.
I wanted good, actually.
That's what I thought was most disappointing about it, was that we didn't get to.
Well, next time
we are being cooked without getting to eat it at the end.
Next time we are all in the same place. We will have a recook, maybe with a camera person that will be willing to get more tied up shots of the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And
less
important
of my dumbass.
But until then, we have a lot of exciting things coming up this month. So please stay tuned for the channel and jump over to our YouTube as well. We have a lot of collaborations going on that are YouTube only. We have some special episodes. Our regular actual play will be happening next week, and then next Wednesday we'll have a special edition, an early edition with a very special guest on, and we'll be doing some exciting things throughout December. So please stay tuned, grab an adult beverage, and remember, hit points are not required to make whatever this stuff was.
Hot buttered rum, sir. That's what that was. You're cut off.
Come on.
So are the rest of you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.